The industry wants you to believe you have to drop $2 grand for a sub-minute of angle hunting rifle. That is a lie sold by gun snobs to push overpriced safe queens. Today, we are looking at sub-$800 workhorses that mathematically outperform premium brands out of the box. Stick around for the #1 spot because it's factory action rivals, custom builds costing triple the price. Coming in at number 5 is the HOA 1500 Hogue. This Japanese monolithic beast is the undisputed, indestructible workhorse of the modern hunting camp. While legacy American brands are cutting corners with cheap tubular steel and flimsy plastic, the HOA relies entirely on brute force forged engineering. The absolute foundation of this rifle is its receiver. Unlike mass-produced actions that flex and warp under the extreme pressure of heavy magnum loads, the HOA receiver and bolt are hammer-forged from solid blocks of steel. The bottom of the receiver is completely flat and features a massive integral recoil lug. This specific architectural design vastly increases the surface area that directly interfaces with the stock. When you are sending heavy rounds downrange, this flat-bottom design aggressively resists rotational torque, giving you extreme and highly repeatable accuracy. When you run that heavy 2-lug bolt with its traditional 90-degree throw, it feels exactly like locking a heavy bank vault door. While a 90-degree lift is longer than some modern designs, it provides a massive mechanical advantage for primary extraction. It utilizes a hyper-reliable claw extractor and a strong plunger ejector. If you ever have a sticky or overpressured case in the backcountry, this massive bolt will rip that brass out without a second thought. Furthermore, the 2-stage match trigger lets you take up the slack before hitting a solid wall. It breaks like glass at 3 pounds, inherently preventing you from jerking the rifle during that final microsecond of the trigger press. But here is the deal breaker. That massive forged steel construction and dense Hogue overmolded stock come with a severe weight penalty. Unloaded and unscoped, this platform tips the scales right at 8 pounds. It is a heavy piece of equipment to drag up a steep alpine ridge. However, if you are blind hunting or shooting from a stable prone position, that extra dense mass eats recoil beautifully. You can pick up this bomb-proof barreled action for around $500 to $680. Coming in at number 4 is the CZ600 Alpha. This European contender is a hyper-modern piece of engineering built to drag through the worst backcountry conditions imaginable. While traditionalists argue endlessly over push-feed versus controlled round-feed actions, the engineers at CZ built a brilliant hybrid system to give you the absolute best of both worlds. When you run that oversized polymer bolt knob forward, the cartridge stays securely captured by the magazine feed lips until it is precisely halfway into the chamber. At that exact critical moment, the extractor snaps securely over the case rim. This guarantees highly controlled feeding even if you are operating the platform from a completely compromised, sideways angle in heavy brush. You get the extreme reliability of a legacy Mauser-style claw, combined with the tight action lockup of a modern precision rig. The highly rigid aluminum receiver features integral Picatinny rails milled directly into the top of the action. This completely eliminates the need for secondary scope bases and removes the risk of loose mounting screws shearing off under heavy magnum recoil. Add in that short 60-degree bolt lift, and you have massive clearance for running large modern optics close to the bore axis without busting your knuckles. Furthermore, the trigger system on this platform is completely revolutionary for a factory hunting tool. Instead of forcing you to pull the stock apart and mess with delicate sear screws, CZ gives you a patented single-stage trigger with 4 distinct externally adjustable pull weights. You just take a standard hex wrench to a dial located right next to the trigger shoe. You can drop it down to 1.4 pounds for precise zeroing on the bench and then quickly crank it up to 3.1 pounds in the field so you do not have an unintentional discharge when operating with thick winter gloves. But here is the deal breaker. The proprietary double-stack polymer magazine system, while uniquely designed to lock firmly into place so you do not lose it on a steep hike, means you are entirely dependent on expensive factory replacements. If you happen to lose or crack that specific magazine in the field, you cannot simply borrow a ubiquitous aftermarket pattern mag from a buddy at the range. Despite that minor logistical limitation, this feature-dense powerhouse is an absolute steal for the working man. You can secure this exact rig and start putting meat on the table for a retail price of exactly $649. Coming in at number 3 is the CVA Cascade. This rig is the absolute Trojan horse of the firearms industry, seamlessly smuggling elite precision into a working-class price bracket. While the gun snobs are dropping $2,000 on custom logos, you are getting the exact same terminal performance for a fraction of the cost. When you really look under the hood, you realize you are not just buying a standard budget hunting tool. Because of localized global supply chains, you are secretly purchasing a premium Bergara barrel at a massive discount. Manufactured in Spain under the exact same corporate umbrella, this heavy steel barrel undergoes advanced deep hole drilling and precision button rifling to remove microscopic tooling marks. That exhaustive manufacturing process translates to extreme sub-minute of angle precision directly out of the box. When you pull this rifle tight into your shoulder, align your crosshairs, and press the crisp factory trigger, that premium barrel sends high ballistic coefficient projectiles downrange with surgical consistency. Furthermore, the engineers made an incredibly smart tactical decision by completely mirroring the footprint of the legendary Remington 700 receiver. This is a massive strategic advantage for the practical shooter. If you ever decide to drop this flawless barreled action into an advanced aftermarket chassis system, you immediately have access to the largest aftermarket ecosystem on the entire planet. The action itself utilizes a highly efficient 3-lug bolt design with a short 70-degree lift. That gives you incredible speed and massive optical clearance when running large, modern scopes close to the bore axis. You also get premium weather resistance with advanced Cerakote finish options that will easily shrug off the worst backcountry blizzards. But here is the deal breaker. Because that 3-lug design utilizes a cock on open mechanical sequence, the initial bolt lift feels noticeably heavier and slightly more sluggish than a standard 2-lug system. It requires a firm, aggressive hand to run it fast under pressure, and it lacks that glassy smoothness you might expect from a premium action. Despite that heavier lift, this modular platform actively embarrasses mid-tier premium rifles that cost twice as much. You can secure this exact barreled action and start dropping game at extended ranges for between $500 and $749, depending on your exact configuration. Coming in at number 2 is the Ruger American Generation 2. This tool is a modern utilitarian marvel that completely redefines what a working man should expect out of a factory rifle. While the original legacy version felt a bit flimsy, the engineers went back to the drawing board and packed this rig with premium features normally reserved for elite custom shop builds. The most visually striking upgrade is that heavy 20-inch spiral fluted steel barrel. That deep spiral fluting perfectly balances the forward weight of the rifle and aggressively accelerates barrel cooling by increasing the surface area exposed to ambient backcountry air. But the real tactical advantage for the modern hunter is the massive upgrade in weatherproofing. The entire barreled action, radial muzzle brake, and bolt handle are completely locked down in a premium gunmetal gray Cerakote finish. That proprietary ceramic coating offers vastly superior corrosion and abrasion resistance compared to traditional hot bluing. That means you can drag this tool through freezing sleet, heavy rain, and thick brush without constantly worrying about rust destroying your hard-earned investment. The action itself is built like an absolute tank. The 3-lug bolt is fully CNC machined from a single solid piece of stainless steel and features a full-diameter body. That full-diameter design inherently prevents the bolt from binding or tilting when you have to cycle it aggressively from your shoulder under severe stress. You also get a highly practical 3-position tang safety mounted right under your thumb. This specific mechanical feature lets you lock the bolt securely closed while hiking through thick timber so it does not snag and pop open. Crucially, the middle position still allows you to safely cycle and unload the weapon while the primary safety mechanism remains fully engaged. They also completely overhauled the stock system to include a highly rigid forend that actively resists flexing against the barrel when you load heavily into a bipod. But here is the deal breaker. While the platform is incredibly modular, it utilizes various detachable box magazines depending on the caliber you choose. Certain aftermarket pattern magazines have demonstrated minor feeding issues with modern cartridge geometries like the 6.5 Creedmoor, often requiring a very firm, aggressive slap to seat properly on a closed bolt. Despite that minor magazine quirk, this rig operates and feels exactly like a $1,500 tactical hunting hybrid. You can grab this feature-dense powerhouse for an incredibly low retail price of just $729. Taking the undisputed #1 spot is the Tikka T3X Lite. This Finnish powerhouse is the unofficial custom action killer that actively cannibalizes sales from the top-tier market bracket. If you want absolute perfection without dropping thousands of dollars on an overpriced safe queen, this is your primary tool. The foundational heart of this platform is its legendary push-feed action. Unlike cheaper mass-produced American receivers that are typically tubular bored, the Tikka receiver is meticulously broach-cut at the factory. This highly advanced manufacturing technique removes metal in a perfectly linear fashion to create an internal bolt raceway that is dimensionally perfect. When you run that robust 2-lug bolt, it completely eliminates the rough, zipper-like chatter found in lower-tier rifles. It offers a glassy, hyper-slick operation that is virtually indistinguishable from a $1,300 elite custom action. The bolt itself features a fast 70-degree lift, giving you massive physical clearance for mounting modern scopes tight to the bore axis without busting your knuckles. Combine that broach-cut receiver with a legendary cold hammer forged steel barrel, and you get a mirror-like internal bore finish that requires absolutely zero break-in time. The T3X generation improved heavily upon the legacy line by introducing a highly durable steel recoil lug and a modular synthetic stock with user-interchangeable grips. When you pull this rig tight into your shoulder and press that flawless single-stage trigger, it mathematically guarantees sub-minute of angle precision out of the box. It is widely considered the most mathematically advantageous factory rifle on the entire global market today. Shooters frequently conclude that the factory trigger, breaking flawlessly with zero creep between 2 and 4 pounds, is vastly superior to the mechanisms found on much more expensive premium factory rifles. You can easily take this exact lightweight action and seamlessly drop it into an advanced precision chassis later down the line. But here is the deal breaker. While the factory action and cold hammer forged barrel are absolutely flawless, you are permanently stuck buying incredibly expensive proprietary factory polymer magazines. When you inevitably lose a magazine in deep snow or drop it on a jagged alpine ridge, replacing it is going to put a very painful dent in your wallet. Despite that logistical headache, this rig completely destroys the fundamental value proposition of legacy premium brands. You can secure this ultimate precision instrument and completely outshoot the gun snobs at the range for around $649 to $749. The market has officially shifted, and the days of paying $2,000 for sub-minute of angle precision are over. It is time to stop buying expensive logos and start trusting actual ballistics over legacy brand names. Which overpriced Safe Queen manufacturer is going to go bankrupt first? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Train hard, stay safe, and I will see you downrange.